Pawcatuck River was relatively peaceful Tuesday, as USGS hydrologist Andy Waite measured the flow in Wood River Junction, Rhode Island. One would have to look very carefully to see any evidence of the flooding that took place 1 year ago.
The little green circular disc, that's one of our high water marks.
It's hard to imagine such a placid river rising so high and so far outside its banks.
And there's a high water mark inside the gauge also. If you look, you'll see a seed line all around the whole thing.
Photos taken by the USGS during the flood are much more dramatic, especially when compared with images from the present.
From a layman's standpoint, it was visually apparent that we were full of water prior to that storm, and we knew going into that storm that there was going to be a significant amount of rainfall, but certainly none of us expected the volume of water that we had. It certainly was the most significant rain event in most people's lifetimes in this area.
The Wood Pawcatuck Watershed Association's building sits on the bank of the Wood River in Hope Valley. During the flood, the river filled the basement office, according to Chris Fox, the association's executive director.
About 20 inches of water, maybe up to about here.
That doesn't seem like a lot, until you step out onto the association's porch and look down at the river below, particularly at the Arcadia Road Bridge downstream.
To stand here during the flood and see that the water was being pushed up and over almost the guardrail of that bridge over there. You know, if we had gotten maybe 6 more inches of water here, you might have been hard-pressed to know there was even a bridge there, never mind the dam that's there.
Fox spent the days after the storm documenting the flooding, from the ground and from the air.
The first thought that I had in looking down on the communities was, gee, I hope no one's been hurt and I hope no one's lost their life. And I think that's really the take-home message of the flood, was that we really dodged the bullet from a safety standpoint. My hope is that we'll be better prepared for a future event of the same magnitude, so that we can again realize, ultimate public safety through that.
While the damage to property and infrastructure was significant, there is little evidence of the flooding to be seen in the natural environment just 1 year later.
As far as Mother Nature's perspective, it was virtually unaltered. A river is a living entity that will always continue to carve its own path despite what obstructions we put in its way. And it's interesting to see that we didn't have more significant changes to the stream channels. We try to keep this river, and especially this upper section, as natural as possible, so that what does occur in these storm events is a natural function of the river with as little influence from man as possible.